Vanessa Diamond from HandsOn is going to go through these last tips about how to engage your donors after the amazing race.
So I know you guys are all wiggly, so I'm going to give you 10 seconds to kind of like wiggly machines. And then we'll eat chocolate. So I am with the Partnership for Nonprofit Excellence in HandsOn Greater Richmond, and hopefully you have worked with some part of the programs in some way. We are really here to help build the capacity and help support the work you do. My interest is really, why do people want to step forward and give their time or give their dollar, and how do we help create a relationship in a community? If 20,000 people clicked on a button in 36 hours to say that I'm in, that matters. And it's really up to us to figure out all the things the panelists said. How do we cultivate them? How do we inspire them? And how do we continue to engage them? So we've got some tips on how to continue to keep this relationship open. Because I believe as much as they are giving you dollars, you are giving them something. You are giving them a part of the community and the option to really be a part of what you're doing and really what we're trying to do for the larger Richmond community. So our top 5 tips to engage donors: be human, be a detective, be a storyteller, be chatty, and be inviting. So I'll tell you just a tiny little bit about each one. Be human. I wanted to have a picture on here with a person smashing a computer, which Kim said no. This is a very technology-based initiative. It's 36 hours on the computer. So just like they were just talking about the panelists, after, really think about how you can reach out as a human to a human, whether it's a paper note or a silly note. Make it fun, make it a phone call. You can have volunteers come in and actually call donors. Crack it outside of the technology and really try to make sure that people don't just think of you as a click button. So you know the drill, send the note, or even better, call them. Be a detective. So there's going to be data that you have in your computers or in your spreadsheets or on a notepad about who these volunteers are. There's going to be data that's in the Give Richmond site, so you know who comes through the Give Richmond site. Take the time after to really understand, how do they come to you? Do they already participate? Are they a reference from your internal organization already? And start to put together the data so that you don't have to wait till next year to understand who they are and how they got to you, because there's going to be lots of different kinds of data sources that you already have or that's coming from Give Richmond. Make sure you take the time to really figure out who they are and how they found you. Be a storyteller. So I think the panelists talked about that really fantastically, making sure that you go back to donors and you talk about what the money is, where is it going, what are you doing with it, what is some of the impact, and make sure you continue to tell your story about what you're doing with that and what's next. Be chatty. So that's back to that kind of that be human. I think a lot of people talked about opening up dialogue, you know, when you're posting things back onto Facebook and you're continuing to engage them, not just in your story, but in their story, and making sure that you're really cracking open both sides of that discussion so that they really start to feel a part of the work. So be inviting. They just said it. Invite them into the work. My big kind of term right now is open the doors. Open the doors to your organization, whether they want to give, if they want to give you their opinion, their time, their money. They're stepping forward to be a part of something. And if you can open the doors and really allow them in, whether it's an event, if it's other ways to understand or be an advocate for your work, or of course, I run the volunteer center here, you should create ways for them to volunteer. So I'm going to gift you one very simple way that if you are interested in partnering with HandsOn to do this. We have an event like 2 weeks or 3 weeks later called HandsOn Day, and a lot of you all have participated in it before. We're going to be working with the Give Richmond staff to help promote organizations that are in Give Richmond or in part of the Amazing Raise that will host volunteer projects on October 17th, so we can make sure that donors that come to you through the Amazing Raise have an immediate way to connect back to you. That's very simple. So October 17th is a large day of service for us. We have normally 50 different projects, and we engage over 1,000 volunteers. We're looking for organizations that want to host projects, and you would basically host a team of volunteers. It could be 10, 50, 100 volunteers if you so think you can handle that. We do a lot of work with our nonprofit partners to make sure that they're ready to engage a team of volunteers. So we would, if you are interested, there's a way that you can register your project idea now, and then that project would be loaded so that volunteers could sign up. We manage the entire registration process. We get them t-shirts and water bottles and granola bars. And they would come and volunteer with your organization between 9 and 1 on October 17th. So if you have any questions about HandsOn Day, let me know. This is a great way, kind of as the panelists were mentioning, of giving them a very easy way to continue to engage with your organization.
So just real quick closing comments. Actually, two little housekeeping things. One is that by being here today, you have free admission to Lewis Skinner to look around if you'd like. So if you have an open lunch hour, take a look around. Also, if you didn't take a picture at our photo booth on the way in, we'd love for you to take one on the way out. We're really proud of it. It's huge. I had no idea those things are so big. But basically, I just want to just wrap all this up by saying that we truly do live in an amazing place, and you represent this place, be it RVA or Central Virginia or whatever you call it. It could be hyperlocal, it could be Goochland or Hanover. But we live in an amazing place, and you represent that, and you enrich this community, and you lift it up during the Amazing Rays, and you convince people that it's worth investing in. So we live in a better community because of the work that you do, and I just really appreciate you all being here. And one last thing, thanks to Pat Collins of Town Bank for being here today, and for being a part of this. And Lori and all of our panelists, and Vanessa, and everybody who's been a part of this, thank you very much, and we'll be in touch throughout the summer. So we look forward to talking to you.